Inquiry, and the team had built up a strong circumstantial case against Cooper. But they still needed a forensic link and were frustrated that nothing had been found.
We'd gone for 3 years of meticulously looking at every item, every day, wake up and say, right, this is the day that we're going to get the results that we're looking for.
Finally, in April 2009, there was a breakthrough. Forensic experts had been examining tapings from the shorts. They were looking for fibre matches, but they discovered a spot of blood.
You can take a tiny, tiny amount of it and test it chemically, and if you get a positive for that, it's very, very likely to be blood, and that's enough for you to be able to cut a bit of tape out and stick it in for DNA profiling.
The 20-year-old spot of blood on John Cooper's shorts was Peter Dixon's.
We got a full profile, so it would be less than 1 in a billion people you would get as a chance match. So it was incredibly strong evidence.
I don't mind saying it, but it was quite an emotional moment. That golden nugget that we had craved for so long had suddenly been presented to us. We now had a link to a double murder. I was confident that was just going to be the start of many more.
Sure enough, more evidence was found on the shotgun the team had identified as a potential murder weapon.
It was found in a hedge, and it was linked to John Cooper by a screw from his shed. Basically, a screw from a little pot in his green shed was the screw that came out of a hole in that gun.
The team observed the barrels had been painted black. Underneath that paint, blood DNA had been preserved.
They found the blood of Peter Dixon on the breech end of the gun and on the barrel of the gun. At that stage, we knew that we'd found the murder weapon.
By John Cooper painting the barrels, he's actually gone and preserved the evidence for us.
Dyfed-Powys police now had evidence that John Cooper had executed Peter and Gwenda Dixon on the coastal path near Little Haven.
Even though I knew the sort of person he was, I just didn't want any of that to be true. I didn't. I mean, to kill someone for just a few £100, to kill someone anyway, but I mean, they would execute you for a few £100. I'm still trying to get my head around that one. I really am.
To strengthen their case, police wanted to connect Cooper to a description of a man seen using Peter Dixon's cash card.
From the Hunter inquiry, it had been identified that he'd appeared on Bullseye.
John and Harvey with £220, please.
In securing that material, it was identified by ITV themselves that there was a profile which effectively it was like a tracing of that artist's impression. John Cooper took part in the filming of that programme just over 3 weeks before Peter and Gwenda Dixon were murdered. For me, that was a crucial piece of evidence.
What are you going to do?
We'd like to gamble.
There it is. I'll take this one of it.
But why would a violent criminal risk appearing on national television?
John Cooper felt that he was untouchable. That would have not raised an issue with him, the fact that he would go on to national television and people would see him. I think actually probably enjoyed that attention.
20.
It attracted within the local community.
And 1, 26.
He would have seen it as a challenge to go on. Even so, he still gambles. That's what it means, compulsive. They just can't give it up, can they?
As he had done throughout his life, Cooper gambled and lost.
Oh, unlucky.
Just 3 weeks later, he murdered Peter and Gwenda Dixon.
But we're just moving into position now.
In May 2009, Dyfed-Powys police arrested John Cooper for murder. This footage was filmed by the police.
He's kicked off. Huh? He's kicked off. They're in round the corner. He's kicked off.
Cooper had only been out of prison for 6 months, but police were relieved to have him back in custody.
On his arrest, we found in his car there was a rope, there was gloves, and we're also aware that he had got an ordnance survey map of parts of Pembrokeshire. I think it was only a matter of time before he would have started to commit burglaries, go on to robberies, and I've got no doubt that had the circumstances prevailed, he would have murdered again.
He was taken to Haverfordwest Police Station to be interviewed. The purpose was to connect Cooper to the exhibits that had been forensically linked to the murders.
During the interview, what we did, we showed him the artist's impression of the suspect who used the Dixon's cash card, and we also showed him his shorts.
Would you accept that those shorts resemble the shorts in the artist's impression?
Not a bit, no.
Okay. But those shorts, have you ever seen the shorts in this photograph, TWB1, before?
I believe those are my bathers, actually.
Okay.
Because he thought that we were looking for the similarities in those shorts to the artist's impression, he happily admitted that the shorts were his shorts, and and that for us was key.
Then, without realising, Cooper incriminated himself further.
Those are long-legged shorts.
Okay, you're pointing the difference then, you say that they're not similar and that they're longer on the artist's impression?
Well, those are short-leg shorts, that's long-legged shorts.
Police asked forensic scientists to examine the shorts again. They had been shortened, possibly by Cooper's wife.
They unstitched the hem, and inside the hem they found a DNA profile which matched Julie Dixon, who was the daughter of Gwenda and Peter Dixon.
We believed then is that those shorts probably were taken from Peter Dixon's rucksack. Because there would have been no other reason as to how Julie's DNA came onto those shorts under the hem.
Cooper had kept the shorts for 10 years.
I think it gives us an insight into John Cooper as an individual. I think that's part and parcel of Cooper, was that control element, that he had things, memento, to remind him of his offending.
Soon, forensic scientists began to uncover fibre matches.
You very, very rarely find any fibres that match. Where you do, it's really only 1 or 2 fibres. So if you find them in number, it means something. If you find them in combination, it means something. If you find two-way transfer, it all means something.
When Cooper was arrested in 1998 for burglary, police took sweepings from his shed. Fibres were found in those sweepings from gloves and a balaclava left in a hedge near Cooper's house. Scientists looked for matching fibres on exhibits from the 4 murders and a violent sexual attack on teenagers in Milford Haven.
As time started to unfold, virtually on a daily basis, we were having phone calls. Fibres from gloves that he abandoned were found in the clothing and underwear of the rape victim from the Milford Haven attack. Fibres from one of those gloves was found in the sewn hem of the shorts that we recovered from his house. Fibres found in the pockets of those shorts were linked to fibres found on the socks of Richard Thomas from the Scoverson murders.
Cooper's habit of storing and reusing his offending toolkit meant fibres from each crime could be traced back to him. Faced with the forensic evidence, Cooper still refused to admit his guilt, even pointing the finger at his own son.
Have you any explanation to give as to how that blood could have innocently appeared on the shorts?
I really do not know. As I said, my wife sourced the shorts. Maybe from Percy, maybe from a shop. I don't know, wherever she sourced. More worryingly is my son used to take my clothes whenever he wanted it, and that would be more of a worry for a father.
I couldn't believe it. I was gobsmacked. I think that of all the things he's done to me, I think that was the lowest thing I ever saw him do. That was a hard thing to hear your own father